I had some Argentine chick come over.
We're live. All right, nephews, lock in, because tonight we need to tighten something up. Because a lot of you're not losing women, you're losing yourself the moment you see the wrong type of profile. She says the company lines, things Johnny's always pointing out, things like, I love to laugh, always up for an adventure, or good vibes only. And something in you, nephews, it flips. You stop moving like a man with standards and you start moving like a man that's trying to be liked. Nephews, when you start moving like a man who's trying to be liked, now you're trying to do things like be funny, try to be interesting. You want to keep her attention and you don't even realize it, but you just gave up your position. Okay, seeing this isn't about her being the fun girl. Okay, this is about how you respond to that kind of energy. Now, because the moment that you start performing, nephews, you're no longer leading. And that's why you're not being respected. If there's no respect, there's no attraction to build on. So tonight, we're not here to tear these women down. We're here to clean you up, nephews. Your standards, your discipline, your ability to stay grounded in environments that are designed to pull you off center. Because, listen, I'm going to tell you, a man who knows who he is, he doesn't get louder when she's loud. Okay? He doesn't get chaotic when she's spontaneous. And he doesn't start entertaining just because she likes to laugh. He stays steady. He observes. We stick to our vetting process, nephews, and that's the difference. So tonight, as we go through these Bumble profiles, we're not asking, how do I impress her? We're asking, does this woman even align with how I move? Nephews, that's the shift. Okay, that's the upgrade. So call in, drop your questions in the chat, email Uncle Johnny, and let's start reading these profiles the right way. Lock in, nephews. Let's get to work. I'm your certified Unc. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody tonight.
Hey, so I'm Johnny Dumbbell, a personal trainer and life coach and no BS, uncle who's made plenty of mistakes in life. I give men real talk on fitness, mindset, dating, so you can stop getting played and start winning. If you're contemplating doing something and it involves a girl and maybe it sounds a little reckless, a little stupid, a little expensive, fiscally irresponsible, or maybe a little bit too soon, do yourself a favor and talk to us first. Leave it in the chat. Shoot me an email here. Talk to us before you do anything. Chances are one or both of us has done something about equally as stupid and found out the hard way why you don't do it. Okay? Usually those mistakes center around being what we nowadays have identified as the simp. Remember, simps are not victims no matter how hard they get screwed over. They are volunteers. Okay, so she can't belong to the streets and on a pedestal at the same time. We've got great stories that we can tell, and we've got great stories that other members of the family that we can tell you. We're not proud of our poor decisions, but we are extremely proud of the men that we have become as a result of the lessons learned the hard way. In short, we screwed up so you don't have to. Now, tonight, let's have a little fun and introduce the online ladies.
Well said, Johnny. All right, nephews, before we get into the profiles, call in with your own questions. We got we're live TikTok. We're live over on YouTube. Feel free to join the rest of the panel over here. You can see the profiles on YouTube too. We'll get to that with TikTok, homie. We getting there, but we appreciate y'all watching. Yeah. Y'all can still call in. You can tap in. You can still join these discussions about manhood. All right, Johnny, without further ado. Okay, so our first profile tonight is Andrea, and she's 38. Let me see if I can make that a little bit bigger for you guys. How's that, Johnny?
It looks like they're floating. Yeah, great.
All right, funny. All right, so what do we got here? We got Andrea. About Andrea. Her bios, Johnny, it says sweet, loyal, mature, adventurous, quietly confident, and playful.
Bless that bitch.
Midwest values, enjoys spending time with family and friends, traveling, working out. Health, wellness. She says, walking my puppy, exploring new restaurants, boating, concerts, and cooking.
That's a lot of interest, man.
All right, well, what do you make of that? Just based off of the bio, Johnny. It does say, just add she drinks socially.
Yeah, I mean, this is a girl who likes to get out and do different things. This is an active lady here. What she's saying is true. I got to tell you, that first sentence really sounded like a lot of the tags you put together on Pornhub. But after that, yeah, once we started with Midwest values and everything else, yeah, I love that. So there's a pretty broad range of activity she puts in here, but they still kind of center around some semblance of what she would like to say is normalcy in her dating life, I guess. But there's a lot of things that just kind of seem like they would apply to everybody. That's the only thing I'm seeing here.
Shout out to Minimon. Minimon, hey, as always, it's a pleasure to have you. I hope you're going to be here to help me decide on some of the profiles I'm on the fence with tonight. Shout out to Minimon. All right. All right, my honest opinion here. Well, we got a couple company lines. We do have some things that personally I'm in alignment with, but you know, as you like to point out, Johnny, some of this stuff could be buzzwords.
Sure. Like if I was like looking up a dating profile, some of the words I would use would be almost exactly that.
Okay. Well, on the surface, when you read things like words like sweet, loyal, mature, adventurous, playful, even though I go as far as to even say like the Midwest values, family, friends, fitness, wellness, this sort of things, most of you guys look at this and you automatically think wifey material.
Yeah.
She's perfect. I better not mess this up. So
I got to come up with the perfect first message.
Johnny, that's the trap. That's the trap right there. Okay, and look, let me tell you what this actually means. let's break this down for these nephews, because we want to give them real game for tapping in with us tonight, man. We appreciate that. That's why we encourage you to ask your questions, nephews. All right. So what sweet, loyal, mature, this to me, this means this woman values stability. What she's telling me is that she's not chaotic. She's not looking for games, and she expects consistency. But here's the catch, nephews. I'm going to put you on. Most men hear this and you guys become way too agreeable. You become too careful or even way too polite. And now this woman is going to see you as boring.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, putting everything up on the, putting all your cards on the table here. It's one thing to be genuine and forthcoming, but in this particular case, you're leaving very little, if anything, to the imagination. There's no layers to go through. You gave her a cross section.
Now the adventurous and playful. Now I see this. Okay, nephews, you got to understand women need stimulation. They need to be stimulated. Okay, so, and this is going to kind of balance that first part, because she does want stability, but she also wants like energy and personality. And most of you guys pick just one. All right. So you'll try to be stable, and what you're going to do is you're going to come off as boring, or you're going to try to be fun and you're going to come off as unstable. Now you got to understand, women like this want both, but few of you guys can actually hold that. Now, what I see with the Midwest values, Johnny, this to me equals a traditional kind of learning. Now, this is kind of important because this tells me that she is family oriented. She likely values respect, a certain kind of manners. This is a woman that likes when you put in effort. So I don't want you guys to confuse that when you see these in these profiles. Don't confuse this with she wants a yes man. She still expects leadership and direction and a man who moves with intention.
And the hard part about that is, even if you're not that kind of guy, she might give you more than one or two dates. She might give you a lot of chances here. She might actually have you on her roster as the guy she calls when she wants a free meal. So again, that could be putting yourself in a bad position if you're going to be a yes man from the very beginning. That is one of your very statistically likely destinations.
Now, I'm going to put y'all on some game here, because I can recognize this from my own profile. My own dating profile does a lot of things. It filters. A good profile should filter. So I can recognize another filter when I see one. So the health, wellness, the working out, nephews, this is a discipline filter. This woman's telling us that she has a routine, that she takes care of herself. She values consistency. Now, if your life looks inconsistent or unstructured, you're not a match for her. Now, no. I see a lifestyle stack in here too. And this is why Johnny and I just love these bios. Shout out to her for taking the time to put out the bio. It gives us so much information and so much to decode. If you really know what you're looking at, nephews, if you really know how to spot the patterns, if you really know how to look between the lines. So
yeah, she took the time to type all that out, or at least copy and paste it.
Right. But this is a lifestyle stack to me: the travel, food, concerts, boating. Okay, you guys are going to see this and you're going to think that you need to impress her, you need to keep up with her, and that's not what she's asking. She's asking, can you add structure and direction to her life? Now, here's where you guys are going to fumble Andrea here. You're going to put this woman on a pedestal immediately.
Oh, man.
And you'll do this by coming overly agreeable and then try to lock it down too fast. And you're going to lose your edge. And what happens is, to her, you're going to end up being the good guy. And look, being safe doesn't get you selected.
No.
You need to bring grounded stability here if you're going to get out. With a light edge, you got to keep it light. You don't over impress. You don't over agree. Nephews, you do not invest too early. You stay calm, you stay direct, and you keep things, well, Johnny, to be honest, you're going to keep them playful.
Yeah, I mean, and confidently playful, for crying out loud. And that's another thing. Don't go into it faking confidence. I'm telling you, women can smell fake confidence like a fart in the car, except it comes across to them as creepy. I mean,
All right.
that's exactly that's exactly the last thing you want to do. If you don't feel the confidence, you shouldn't be trying to fake the confidence.
Nephews, you want me to tell you what Andrea here has heard 100 times today, or at least this week?
You
How
look great in
sweet
that
she
blue
is.
dress.
How genuine she seems. She hears basic compliments like that all day long. What you need to do, okay, if I was going to get at her, I would say something, along the lines of you seem like you got good balance. Most people they lean too far away. Now, to me, this would signal to her that I'm observant, that I can differentiate myself, and also create a little bit of curiosity. So, nephews, profiles like this, they don't reject you loudly. No, they're going to reward a man who doesn't lose himself trying to be chosen. Because the second you guys start performing, you start agreeing, or you start chasing approval here, you fall into the same category as every other guy. And she's already filtered those men out. So,
well, and if you do form a relationship with her in the long term, you've morphed yourself so severely to get with her, and then of course to stay with her, and then of course to focus only on your relationship, that when that does end, and it will end pretty quickly after she loses respect for you, when you go to turn to friends, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I haven't talked to these people in forever. Who do I have as my support system? I don't know, because I have invested every last bit of emotional stability into how I feel about my relationship to her, which is now over. You are losing yourself, like Uncle Bill said, trying to get her. And if that relationship, goes out for 6 months or more, you'll spend that time trying to do what you can to make her want to stick around, as opposed to building something together, which is what the two of you should be doing. But hey, you're going to have mutual respect there. And if you are the constant yes man, that's going to have a half-life, man. And it's not going to be long.
okay, Johnny, we have a prompt here for Andrea. She says, what makes a relationship great is chemistry, good communication, honesty, new experiences, mutual commitment to personal and shared growth, and most importantly, fun.
Well, I never took chemistry, so there goes that. Yeah, I mean, so communication, honesty, ho hum. All right, I'm yawning. New experiences, mutual commitment to personal and shared growth. Now that gets my attention a little bit, because this is something that talks about building. This is something about that shared growth, and the things that people can do in a relationship with one another in this situation. So yeah, I mean, I could see that being a little bit different. And then we go right back to another company line, fun. But the personal and shared growth, I mean, I do kind of like I do like that. I do like that is thrown in there.
Well, again, just like the bio, it seems our prompt here is also giving us quite a bit of information, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What's the important parts here? Okay, let me start with surface level, because look, nephews, here's what I need you to understand. Johnny and I have been doing this for a while, not just this show, but dating in general. So
30 years here, baby.
Shout out to us. But what we want to present to you is surface level information for those of you that are just scrolling through. And for those of you that take it a little more seriously, that reach out to us, that write into us, that's where we really want to get in and give you the real game. So for are for learning purposes, Johnny. I'm going to go ahead and just give it a surface level read. I don't, and when okay. Words like chemistry, communication, honesty, growth, new experiences, fun. Most of you guys are going to hear this and you're going to be like, yeah, that's what I want too. Yeah. I just need to show her I'm that guy. And now you're agreeing your way out of attraction.
Dude, you're talking yourself right out of the bedroom, man.
Okay, because this is what I need you to understand, nephews. Let's have a talk here for a second. Chemistry, what is it? It's either there or it's not. It's attraction. It is either there or it's not.
That's like I say, biological attraction. It's huge.
But when she puts chemistry in a profile, what she's telling us is that she doesn't force attraction and she's not building it from scratch. If she feels it quickly, she's interested. If not, she's moving on. And most of you guys try to talk your way into chemistry. And this is where you're going to fumble. You can't. You either show up with presence or you're going to get filtered out.
Yeah, I mean, she's already going to be doing that as she goes through the numerous guys in her inbox as it is. So, I mean, that's just one more factor to count against you if that's the way it goes. Yeah.
Now, good communication, Johnny. Does this mean texting all day?
I sure as hell hope not, because that should just be for setting up when and where you're going to meet. So, yeah, I mean, I would think that, I couldn't tell you how many people have come to me and said in the early days of dating, or especially when they first started meeting people that they met online, how little they had to say in person because they just laid it all out there over text for 3 days before they finally met for the first time. You got that dead silence on a date. Why? Oh, because you talk too much.
That's crazy. I've had matches on Bumble here where they've wanted to get into these deep conversations, and nephews tell you all the time that this is a trap. Don't fall for it. What you're going to do is explain your way out of attraction. And we see this happen with you guys that write in. Once you start explaining yourself, you've given up your position, which means you've given up your power. I need you to understand one thing we want you to do by watching these, by watching the shorts, by subscribing to the channel. We want you guys to learn how to build a kingdom of your own. Johnny's not trying to teach you to be like him. I'm not trying to teach you how to be like me. Nephews, you could never be like me. You don't want to be like me, but you can be like you, and you can be the best version of you. And that's what we're trying to teach you here. How to build your kingdom. Yep. So I say all of that, and I get off track a little bit sometimes, but okay. So basically we were talking about communication and what that means, and not over talking and over explaining. And I want you guys to understand that a king does not explain himself. Not to his subjects, not to his advisors, not even to his queen. So stop explaining yourself. That doesn't mean good communication. Communication, nephews, means clarity, not constantly talking. So, and this is where a lot of you guys mess up. You text more, you even double text, or you think that you need to stay in contact with these women all day, and you really don't. Women would rather have directness and consistency with no confusion. And if she has to guess where you stand, nephews, you're out. Now, when she says this part in here about honesty, she's screening for authentic behavior. And this is why Johnny and I are always telling you to be your genuine, authentic self. Because one of the most
unapologetically yourself, yes.
Absolutely. Say that again, Johnny.
You got to be unapologetically yourself. When you're sitting down with somebody, you're showing them the best parts of you, the parts that you like about you best, not the parts that you think she's going to find the most attractive. The parts about you that you like best, because those are the parts of you that are going to stick with you for the longest time in your life. So don't be choosing somebody who's going to be annoyed by that, or somebody who's going to try to change that, or somebody who's going to simply not like it. that happens. You're going to probably go on quite a few dates where that happens. But the fact of the matter is that you were enough, you were yourself, and you liked who you are. Sooner or later, somebody else will too.
All right, Johnny, most men, they're going to read honesty and they're going to think that they need to say everything that they feel. And now you're oversharing, nephews. And that's not honesty. That's lack of control. Now, new experiences, let me break this down for you. I'm going to translate this for you. That means lead the interaction. That's what that means. New experiences means lead the interaction. She's not saying entertain me. She's saying don't be stagnant. And look, all right, Johnny, we're talking about fun girls tonight, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the night. That's the title of the show tonight. We're talking about the fun girl trap that most of you men fall for, and this is where the fun girl trap kind of sneaks in, because most of you guys hear this and you're going to go, "Let me impress her with ideas," or "Let me keep this exciting," and now you're performing for this woman.
Yeah, I mean. Well, and more so, I mean, and she's going to see it as kind of like more, not even really performance, an audition.
Okay. Now, let me break down growth as well. Shared personal, mutual commitment to personal and shared growth. Now, you said that caught your attention, Johnny. Now, I think that this is actually a long-term mindset filter. So when I see this in these profiles on Bumble, it's telling me that she's not really casual minded, that this is a woman who values progression. She expects a man who's building something. So
we're talking about growth over a period of time, a little bit longer than the 2 or 3 months that your average short-term relationship from Bumble is going to look like. So she's looking for something a little bit beyond that. Now,
if your life looks like you're stuck, nephews, you're not going to qualify to this woman. Now, most importantly, fun. Johnny, this is the final test. And this is starting to tie the profile together for me. All right. She's saying that she wants structure, honesty, growth, but I don't want it to feel too heavy. So, and most men feel here, you guys become too serious or you swing too far into the entertainment aspect. And because you don't understand, she wants light energy inside a structured man.
Yeah, not a Peter Frampton cover song serenaded to her. No.
And I'll tell you where you guys are going to fumble, because that's what we love to do. We love to give you the game on how to move here. So if you start agreeing with everything this woman says, if you try to match her words, or if you start explaining how you're that guy, you're done for.
If you're that guy, you shouldn't have to explain that in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. Again, you don't need to say that you're big on growth. You don't need to say that you value communication too, because now you sound like a resume, not like you have presence. Now, the real game with Andrea here, Johnny, what I would do, I would not echo her values, but I would embody them. And here's what I would do. I would show direction. I wouldn't talk about it. I would show consistency, not promise it. And there'd be a playful lightness without losing structure. Look, okay, let's keep going, Johnny, shall we? Nephews, this profile so far, it's not really asking, do you agree with me? It's asking, can you live with this without talking about it? All right, look, because you guys can say you want growth and that you value honesty and that you like communication, but how many of you can stay grounded, stay consistent, and keep things light all at the same time? Because that's going to be who this woman selects.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going here. I see there's more. Okay. Next prompt here for Andrea, Johnny. My simple pleasures are working out,
Bless that bitch.
spending time with my nieces, and cuddling with my puppy.
Yeah, well, from her musculature, she definitely does some stability and endurance type of resistance training. That shoulder, that tricep we saw in the last photo, man, she looks great. So she's lean. So this is a girl. Some girls, when they're talking about I work out, that means they power walk with their friend twice a week. This girl clearly hits the gym. She's definitely got that that physique going on. So this is a woman that is going to expect at least some sort of um, active athletic streak out of you. Um, and again, this is going to require a little bit of hard work and discipline on your part. I'm not saying go out there and work out and then try to get at this girl's profile. What I'm trying to say is this is what she's looking for. Somebody who's actually going to be active, somebody's going to be able to keep up with her. She's not looking for that couch potato. This chick's on a boat in this picture. She was showing off them triceps in the last picture. So, I mean, this is someone who's going to show that she values health and a good physique. And then a lot of times they like that just because it looks good, but I think she has the understanding that that is usually the embodiment of somebody with self-discipline and structure, the ability to lead.
All right, nephews, surface level for this, the workout, time with nieces, the puppy. You guys are going to look at this and think about, oh, this woman's sweet. She's family oriented, or maybe even she's low maintenance. And you're going to relax, and that's going to be a mistake. All right. What she actually means, the working out, and I'll go over this again. This is discipline stays consistent. I can respect that. This is not a hobby for her, nephews. It confirms routine, which is something I'm in alignment with. It confirms self-respect. It confirms that she values consistency. And now this is the second time that she's telling me how structured her life is. All right, let's move on here. The time with the nieces, the family alignment matters. Now, this is subtle, I would say, but it's kind of important too, Johnny. She values family connections because she invests in relationships. She likely expects you to be socially grounded, but not just be nice. You know what I mean?
And that points to the shared growth. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be a man who has real connections and shows up for them. So if your life is isolated or all about you, you probably don't align. We got another prompt here. Shout out to her for filling this profile out all the way like this. All right, Andrea's prompt, last prompt here, Johnny. This says the quickest way to my heart is being charismatic, genuine, caring, and funny. Also having a zest for life and enjoying travel.
I mean, charismatic is pretty much all she would have had to say there. I think when you can exude a good charisma, that other stuff kind of falls in line with that. So you could have stopped at charismatic, but remember, you are not going to be charismatic until you have a self-confidence that kind of exudes that whole I love me some me, I'm not saying in a conceited sort of way. What I'm saying is you've discovered yourself. You know what you like about yourself, and hey, this is what you put forth. This is what you want to share. And even then, you might have good charisma, and it just might not match with her. But remember, stay the course. That course should always point towards yourself. Be you, man.
All right, nephews, we're going to be live for at least another half hour. Call in with your questions. Put them in the chat. Now, Johnny, every time I see this quickest way to my heart, you know what I'm thinking?
Stop the cap.
And that's because these women aren't going to give us the playbook on how to get at them. You need to know that as a man, nephews. Now, however, just be charismatic, caring, and funny. No, this is all right. You shouldn't like we've been talking about with this whole profile. You shouldn't have to act these things out, and this is where you're going to lose. These are things that you should embody, because you're going to read stuff like this in profiles all the time. Charismatic, genuine, caring, zest for life. Even that might even be a new company line, Johnny.
Bruh.
We might have to add zest for life to the list. What this looks like,
I
what
forgot
this
about that one.
translates to in her world is be a great guy with good energy. It might sound simple, but it's not easy. I got to tell you. Charismatic means presence, but not performance. And all right, she doesn't mean to be loud, over talkative, or try to impress. I think really what she's talking about here, like Johnny said earlier, be comfortable in yourself. Don't need validation. People feel your presence without you forcing it on them. Most of you guys fake charisma. She's going to filter that out instantly. But those of you who know how to make your presence felt, how your energy can be felt before you even walk in a room, those
Dude,
are
you
going to
can't
be
exude confidence if you're not even comfortable in your own skin.
now genuine. Now this is going to be what women really mean here when they want you guys to be genuine nephews is they want you to be consistent between your words and your behaviors, not honest about everything. She means she doesn't want you to switch up. She doesn't want you to perform to be liked. You don't always say what you think also, and you don't tell these women what they want to hear. Nephews, you tell them what they need to know. Most you guys are going to lose here by agreeing way too much and trying to match her values. Then now you're not being genuine. You're adapting to what she wants.
You're auditioning.
Now, I'll tell you where you guys are going to crash out with this profile too. One word, caring, because what she means here is controlled investment. If you think that you can show her you care early to win her by over texting, over checking in, and really over giving her attention before she's earned it, you're going to come across as needy.
And for the love of God, don't lead with your wallet.
Yeah, women, she wants a man who can stay grounded. Now, here's the thing that I like in this. The funny, all right, Johnny's always talking about this, being funny. Now, if a woman is already attracted to you, being funny can add to that immensely. If she's not into you, there's no dad joke you can tell in the world to make her more attracted to you.
You know what I've done, Uncle Bill? I've actually told jokes that I knew weren't funny because if she laughed anyway, I knew it was because she was pretty much into me.
That's pretty good, Johnny. I got to tell you.
When they touch your arm or leg anyway, it's like, dude, that wasn't even funny. But it's like, well, hey, you know now. I mean,
so funny. You know, I always think of the Joe Pesci thing. What funny? Like what? I'm here to amuse you.
I'm like a clown, like funny like a clown. I mean,
like funny. All right. So this is light edge, nephews. This is not entertainment. And this is going to tie back into tonight's theme. All right. She's not asking you to entertain her or carry the vibe. She wants someone who can add lightness without losing control. That means if you try too hard or you become the entertainer, you're in the trap again. Zest for life. Like we were talking about, this might be a new company line. She's reinforcing. She lives an active life. She enjoys experiences and she values movement.
Don't say.
But it's can you move with purpose inside of this lifestyle?
Yeah.
Now, don't try to be everything at once, nephews. You start performing traits instead of living them. When you overcompensate with energy, they're gonna know. Mini Mom, what are we doing here tonight, Mini Mom? There's things I like, things I don't like. Johnny, what do you think? You
I think she's
swiping right
gonna.
on this?
I think she's gonna out burpee you, man. I don't know.
Bro, if she can out burpee me, that'd be wild. Out burpee me.
We'll try the 40 minutes of 42. The first date will be 40 minutes of fortitude.
Shout out to Pooh Shiesty. I done did 1,000 burpees. I toned up my frame.
Mm.
I've
lost a little bit of hatred for them with the consistency that I've been doing them lately.
Oh, Johnny, the dog.
A
Look
little
at the
bit.
dog. Look at the dog. John. Okay, well.
Oh,
Now, nephews,
he's
I will
fluffy.
swipe on a woman, even if I'm really not that interested in her, but I like her dog.
I got to tell you that the yoga pants aren't really hurting her. They're not hurting her cause.
Johnny, you want me to swipe on her, don't you?
I kind of want you to swipe on her, yeah.
All right, nephews, here's the deal. If I swipe right on this profile and I match with her, because I got some matches in my queue, what that means is that there's women on Bumble that have taken one look at my profile and have been like, yeah, him. So if Andrea here happens to be one of those ladies and I match with her, I'm going to show you live how to initiate contact with these women, how to get at them in the DMs, what you should be doing. We'll set the date in 3 messages, Johnny. 3 messages will set the date if we match.
Yeah, 4 tops. Yeah, she's from Solon, man. I haven't been to Solon in years. I was probably in high school last time I went there.
Now, Johnny, hold on. Mini Mom's saying left. So what's up, Mini Mom? Why are we going left tonight?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Because she works out. She's healthy. I mean, I like the dog, Johnny.
Did somebody pee in your soup, Mini Mom? Jeez, oh man. No, I'm kidding.
Mini Mom, you don't think I should take the dog? Hey, look, Mini Mom is been on point. Is she don't, whenever she tells me left or right, I think she's just been watching the show long enough. She knows the type of women I like.
She didn't like most of my girlfriends either.
Feel right. Now I'm on the fence, chat. I don't know whether to swipe right or Johnny's saying right. Mini Mom's saying left. TikTok. Join us over on YouTube. All you got to do is go to my profile, and the link for my YouTube channel is on there, and we are live on YouTube. You can view the Bumble profiles over here and the rest of the panel. Man. All right, what would it take for me to swipe right on this? She doesn't go enough.
We got a lot of info she's looking for.
We do have some of the things I'm looking for. She's 5'1". I like that. She drinks socially. I like that. She's active. I like that. Johnny, this woman says she's Jewish.
Swipe right or you're going to look like a schlemiel.
No, like how on point is Mini Mom to notice there was something off with the profile? Here's the thing. I don't know if we would be in alignment. I don't know if I'd be allowed in synagogue.
I would imagine, I don't see, to be honest with you, I've dated a Jewish girl. I mean, and she wasn't devout. It wasn't anything. She was like secular the way a lot of people are Christian. You know, they celebrate Christmas, Easter, and maybe go to church 4 times a year, counting the weddings. So, I mean, it could be that. This could be like just kind of a traditionally, maybe she's secular in her practices. I don't know, you know.
All right.
I dated a Jewish girl who
that
still
makes
ate
me a
ham.
little more intrigued, if I'm being honest, Johnny, that she's Jewish. Because, like, if I was dating a Muslim girl, I'd go to a mosque with her. All right, I'm swiping on her. Maybe the boat's hers. Wait, does it say what she does for a living? No, it doesn't.
I didn't see. I feel like I would have noticed that.
All right, Johnny, we're going to swipe right. Sorry, Mini Mom. I think you're right, but I'm going right anyway.
Bless that bitch.
All right, nephews. Johnny, we've been on for 45 minutes tonight, and we only got through one profile.
But hey,
am I going a little too much into it? Am I trying to read?
I think we're definitely we did nitty gritty that one quite a bit.
Okay, so for the next one or two we do, we should just kind of, because here's what's more important to me, nephews. It's not how many of you are watching live. It's really how many of you are going to pick up this information on the replay when we make shorts out of it. So I would rather put good information out than a lot of information, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's keep going here, and I'll try not to get as in depth with it unless some of you guys are tapping in, asking questions. Oh, Mini Mom, here's the thing. Now, it's been a few weeks since I've been out on a Bumble date, but I really haven't had a lot of time to be on here lately. I got other things going on, but if you guys want updates on Bumble dates, I don't mind. We could probably do something like that.
I think we could do that.
As long as I can be respectful to the women that I'm going out with, because nephews, let me put you on a little bit of game. Women don't like their business being put on Front Street. When you know how to move respectfully and silently, you get a lot further with them. So yeah, Mini Mom, I'll let you know. We could do something. I might do a whole series about that. We'll circle back to that. All right, Johnny.
You mentioned though she didn't bring up anything about her cooking, but I gotta say, the other day I actually had someone make me some paella. It's an Argentine dish, man. I gotta tell you, it was like shrimp, rice, some spices. I don't even know what was all in there, but it was out of this world, man.
All right, Mini Mom, I got you. I'll put something together. Don't worry about it. All right, nephews, call in with your questions. Next profile here, Johnny. We have Emily, 26. Do you think Emily filled out the bio?
I'm going to say no.
Johnny's right. Shout out to Johnny.
She was busy filling in them lips. She had to have been busy filling in them lips.
Okay, no bio, but we do have a prompt. She says, what's her name again? Emily. Emily says, instead of drinks, let's, I don't know, maybe play board games.
Like a drinking board game? I don't know. I mean,
nephews. Okay, this is one of these profiles.
Oh my God.
Well, Johnny, you wanna tell him? You
so we get the same picture. We get the same picture how many times?
Is that the same picture?
I mean, she's wearing the same shirt. She's turned her head slightly different, I guess, so maybe not.
Can you give me 1 second here?
Cleveland's a hell of a long drive for somebody who only has one facial expression.
All right. I don't like nephews. First of all, when women don't put a lot of effort into their dating profiles,
it's like she hired a profile writing expert from Temu.
Well, hey, Johnny, I'm telling you, if I took screenshots of some of these profiles, Johnny, I wouldn't want to do that, but we could actually put together a whole episode.
I mean, I feel like those profiles are out there to be seen.
Temu profiles where women put no effort into this.
We'll call it the flea market. We'll call it the Bumble profile flea market.
All right, nephews, let's break this profile down. All right. No bio. When you see it says maybe play board games instead of drinks, and there's just pictures, you're going to see this and think that she's wholesome, or they're going to see it, Johnny, and think that this is a woman who doesn't like the bar scene.
I mean, I've seen Monopoly lead to nudity before.
Okay, well, if you come in soft with her, it's going to be a mistake. All right, no bio means that you're being evaluated visually first. And this matters. And we talk about this all the time. Go back and watch some of the few live streams on my channel, on Johnny's channel. We talk about how you guys should build a more solid profile of your own. Now, this woman isn't selling herself with words, but she is expecting you to engage without hand holding. And I can tell you right now, nephews, this is a woman who's used to getting a lot of attention. Now, your openers got to matter more, Johnny. Let's just be honest here. Your presence has to matter more, and your profile has to matter more with a woman like this. I like that she's looking for something casual. Because I'm not trying to get too serious with a woman too quickly, nephews. We talk about vetting processes. You guys get in these relationship with women after like 2 months, 3 months. That's your boo. That's your girl. 6 months into it, she's crashing out on you. She's affecting your life. Your life is an absolute mess. And it's because you didn't take the time to properly vet her. If you would have waited longer, here's the thing. People can hold up a mask for a while. They can pretend to be something else. They can emulate your values. They can mold themselves and shape themselves to try to be what you want. But if
my craziest ex has had a time release crazy. Absolutely.
If that's not who they are naturally, eventually that mask is going to slip. It's the facade is going to crack. You're going to see them for who they really are. And you have to recognize what that means is they're just not in alignment with you. When that happens, just move on.
On a positive note, her makeup's like right on point though, man. The only thing I would say is if you, take her swimming early, fellas.
All right. Well, when I see this in a profile, Johnny, instead of drinks, this is a boundary. Now a little bit of information she gave us, because like I said, the whole profile is filtering, but it's not exactly random. What she's saying is here, she doesn't want a typical lazy date. And she doesn't want alcohol-centered interactions. She would
but is this one of those I'm worth more than a coffee date types? Because that's...
You want to be honest with you, Johnny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a woman that would turn down coffee.
Great. If you're worth more than a coffee date, meet me for coffee and prove it. That'd be the last thing I would say. I mean, if that's not the case, hey, that's fine.
She wants to know, nephews, if you could lead to something different. Or are you going to be the same dude in a different font? Okay. Are you that basic? Now, I would, honestly, that's how I would approach this, nephews. You, period, me, period, a drink, period. Let's make this happen. Now, maybe not with this particular profile because she's filtering out alcohol, but I mean, in general, this type of profile, I'm not investing too much energy into it. Like Johnny said, if she didn't want to meet for coffee, I'd probably move on. I will tell you from my experience, though, that board games equal a kind of playful, low pressure environment. And this might be key with getting at her, because it's going to be a kind of a way for you to say that you're not boring, that you enjoy interaction, and really you want to engage without any kind of pressure.
And if you want to show off your intellectual side, get a sophisticated board game like Chutes and Ladders.
There you go. So board games, she's showing you something social, light, and Johnny, she's giving me a little bit of game here because I'm telling you, this woman is slightly competitive. Now, nephews, if you know how to bring that competitive nature out in a woman playfully, you could have a lot of fun with her.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't misread this and get too safe on a profile like this. You get too polite. If you get too nice, if you treat her like she's fragile or she's wholesome, you're going to lose any edge that you had when you matched with her. You're just another guy in her matches. You're going to fail to lead to anything different.
Yeah.
Now, the real game here, nephews, with Emily, you're going to have to match this playful tone, but you're going to have to come across as direct too. The board games. All right. So don't ask her what board game she plays. I would say something along the lines of board games over drinks. You either get competitive or you don't trust people after a couple losses. And
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna create tension, show how playful you are, and invite engagement. And nephews, that is key here. Invite engagement with these women. Follow-up question. What's your game of choice?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to interact, too.
So I know what I'm walking into. Now you're leading, you're engaging, you're not performing. Nephews, just because the profile here kind of feels light doesn't mean you need to move light. And this is where you lose. You see easy and you're going to become safe, agreeable, and that's going to make you too forgettable. Honestly, she's going to filter you out quietly. Look, nephews, the real game here, keep an interaction with this woman playful, keep your edge and keep your direction all at the same time, and you guys are going to be just fine. Because even these simple profiles, they still require a man who knows how to move. All right. Johnny,
I mean, like Randy Jackson would say, that's going to be no for me, dog.
On this one. I'm not wasting my time on this. I don't like profiles that use less than just a few words. It's not really good. How attractive this woman is, it's not really indicative to the time I'm going to have with her. And like I said earlier in the episode, nephews, we want you guys to move like kings, building a kingdom. And when you're building a kingdom, you respect your time. And the last thing I want to do is waste my time. It's so valuable. It's so precious. And I'm just not going to waste my time on a woman based on her looks. All right, so I'm swiping left here, Johnny.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say this one's cooked, yeah.
All right, nephews, bring it in. Let's talk about this. Tonight's show, it should have shown you something real and clear. Honestly, it doesn't matter if she's the fun girl or she's the structured, put together woman, or she's like low key and just simple. Different vibes have the same outcome for most men. And you're going to lose your position. You see fun and start performing. You see wholesome and you guys get soft. You see put together and you start trying to impress. And in every case, you stop moving like a man with standards. And nephews, that's the problem. None of these women we've seen tonight, they aren't asking you to become something different. They're watching to see if you can stay grounded. They're watching to see if you have direction. They're watching to see if you know how to vet. They're also watching to see if you know how to adjust yourself and if you're doing that just to be liked. And that's what's really being tested here. Most of you don't even realize that you're taking this test. You think it's about saying the right thing, keeping her interested, or trying not to mess up. No, nephews, it's about how you move. Because a man who knows his value, he doesn't get louder when she's loud. He doesn't get softer when she's soft. He doesn't start entertaining just because she says she likes to laugh. He stays consistent. Nephews, he stays intentional. He stays in control of himself. And that's what separates you from every other guy in her inbox. So take this with you tonight, nephew. Stop trying to win these women over and start deciding who actually fits into your life. And that's where your power is. Remember, nephews, call in next time. Drop in your questions in the chat. Email Uncle Johnny. Lock in, nephews, and start swiping smarter. John, you got anything before we wrap this up tonight?
Yeah, a couple things. Shout out to the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're in the playoffs. They're going to be starting the same night as the NFL draft. They're both going to be here in Pittsburgh. This place is going to be nuts. Uncle Bill, we got to talk about getting you down here sometime soon. But before we see you on Monday for Ask Your Favorite Uncles, we got a whole weekend ahead of us between tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, whatever else you got. So, as busy as the two of us are, we're not going to be able to help you or bail you out of jail. So let's keep the drugs and the alcohol to a minimum. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park, because accidents cause people. Good night.
All right, nephews, thanks for watching. God bless the real. Now go forth and conquer.
Yeah.